What's the most unprofessional thing a doctor said to you? I'm a pretty pale guy, but I spend a lot of time outside for work. At the dermatologist for an annual skin screening, I made a joke about how I'm extra on top of wearing sunscreen and sun protective clothing because I'm relatively fair-skinned. The derm, without pausing from his work, said ain't nothing relative about it, brother. You're only a shade or two away from being translucent. The whole point of the trip was to avoid sick burns. You have a kidney stone. Oh, and cancer. She's just lazy, doesn't want to work. Turns out it was lupus. Ida, I'm so disheartened reading all the stories that this is still happening. I was diagnosed in '91 after 2 years of bouncing between specialists and our family doctor urging my mother to just accept that I was faking it. You'd think that in 30+ years attitudes would have changed, but apparently not. Oh, I have one. When I was maybe 6 or 7, I used to get some nasty headaches. My mother took me to the doctor who had me have an x-ray done of my head, never checked. But I am sure this is not the way to go about it. When we received the x-ray film, my mother took it to the doctor who inspected it briefly and asked my mom if she has other children. My mother, confused, said she has one more daughter, and the doctor replied saying, "Ah, good, because your son has a brain tumor." I had fucking boogers for fuck's sake. Headaches were caused by sinusitis. Edit, misspelling. Right before a breast exam of my very small boobs. Well, this won't take long. That pain in your stomach? That's just stress from school, don't worry about it. It was summer break FFS. I was hospitalized 2 weeks later with a really bad stomach infection which spread to and burst my appendix. Thanks, doc. I was having some really intense pain in one of my bones and was worried it was some sort of bone cancer. My doctor told me to come back in like 6 weeks, and I was like, if it's bone cancer, is it bad to wait that long? And he's like, with this much pain, if it's bone cancer, it's already too late anyway, and 6 weeks won't make a difference. Okay. That's incredibly comforting. The doctor said it to my mom. She took me in because she had a feeling I had meningitis. I was 14, and the doctor told her there was no evidence of meningitis. She insisted they do a spinal tap to make sure it wasn't meningitis. The doctor told her they weren't going to waste tests on a hunch. She took me out of that hospital and drove to a children's hospital. An hour away she told them the same thing, and they told her there were no signs. She insisted a spinal tap. They did the spinal tap, and it turns out I had meningitis. Lol, and to this day, I still do not go to that first hospital. Pricks. When I told my obgyn that I was on the verge of a mental breakdown after having my baby, and asked if she could prescribe me something to help with the debilitating panic attacks I was experiencing, she told me that's just par for the course, you'll have to wait it out. Thankfully, my primary care doctor helped me. She was horrified that my obgyn had brushed off a distressed mother with a newborn baby asking for help. Was 15, I'm almost 30 now, and had been experiencing nightmares for years since I was a child. I asked my dad to come with me for the doc visit. The doctor told my dad I was making it up for attention, and my dad believed him and berated me for wasting his time. One of my worst memories, TBH, was at my annual gyno appointment a few years back and had an older female doctor. She was in the middle of the already uncomfortable actual pap smear when she grumpily declared, "We'd be done if there wasn't all this crap in here." For clarification, there was no actual crap in asterisk there asterisk. I was around ovulation, and it's normal for me to have heavier cervical mucus. I have never been so embarrassed and humiliated in my life. I obviously requested to never see her again. One day while at my college cafeteria, I badly burned my hand on something hot. I rushed over to the campus health office, my skin literally dripping off my hand, begging for some kind of relief from the intense pain. After making sure I wasn't allergic to anything, the nurse oddly asked if I was sexually active. I told her no, confused why that mattered for my burnt hand. She then reviewed my current medications: an inhaler for asthma, AD medication, and birth control pills. With a smug grin, she questioned why I was on birth control if I wasn't sexually active. Frustrated and in agony, I yelled back in case the mood strikes me, "Now can you please help fix my burnt hand?" He didn't say it to me, but he stepped out to the doorway of my room, into the hallway, and announced to the nurse's station and everyone else in earshot that I was pregnant and didn't know it. The mass he mistook for a fetus was a tumor. A dentist asked if I used soda as mouthwash. I have severe GERD. While I was at the CCU, a resident came to my bedside, and in a thick German accent said, "You've had a very bad heart attack, it will not be good for your future," and walked out. Never came back to explain himself, nor did I see him again in my 5 days in Cedars-Sinai. Told my mom I was faking a miscarriage because I was a drama queen looking for attention. Sent me off with good luck. I took 2 steps out of the hospital and had a miscarriage in the parking lot. Thanks for nothing, doc.